Dark, foreboding forests and creepy, crowded undergrowth. The trees hide many daily battles to the death. Life is cheap in the jungle. 8 legs, 4 legs, no legs, 100 legs. From flesh-eating toxins to flesh-ripping teeth, jungle residents are extreme. And if you step on them or they turn on you, don't expect an easy ride. Their weapons are built for death in the jungle. So watch out for the creatures that bite, sting, and kill. Birds of prey catch their food and eat it. With flesh-tearing talons and beaks like knives, they are killing machines. Raptors are true carnivores and in a deadly class of their own. At the very top of the jungle lives a predator in training. Daughter of the most powerful raptor on Earth. At over 100 feet up, a harpy eagle chick waits patiently for her parents. She's trapped in one of the tallest trees in the rainforest, surrounded by animals she'd like to eat. At about twice the weight of a sloth, she's nearly fully grown, except for one thing. Her flight feathers are still coming in. So, she can't fly. Mom or Dad usually drop off a sloth or a monkey every few days for her to eat, but she hasn't seen them in over a week. She's getting hungry, and it's a long way down. Finally, the mother harpy eagle makes her presence known. She has her eagle eye on a sloth in another tree. The sluggish mammal is oblivious to one of the planet's largest birds of prey, who's on a maternal mission to feed her chick. Sloths can live for up to 20 years. This one probably won't. With talons as big as a grizzly bear's, the eagle snatches it with ease. A 7-foot wingspan allows the mother eagle to carry her catch through the trees. Fresh meat is finally on its way to her hungry daughter. A 10-pound sloth should satisfy her for a few days. The mother raptor dismembers the carcass and feeds it to her big daughter as if she were a freshly hatched chick. Harpy eagles raise only one chick every 2 or 3 years. One of the world's most aggressive birds of prey is also a great parent. Harpies are masters of the rainforest canopy, but far below, there's a voracious carnivore that attacks anything in its path and operates in a much more sinister way: the centipede. Multiple legs and deadly pincers pierce the flesh of its victim with venom, Sometimes hazardous to humans, around 3,000 known species of these creepy creatures are certainly the stuff of nightmares. At nearly a foot long, it's the largest centipede on the planet. The giant centipede. Even at that size, this venomous predator can stay hidden in the shadows. Be it urban or jungle. Its long, flat body is divided into over 20 segments that are well protected with an armor-like shell. Each segment has one pair of legs, including one set that are modified to inject a lethal toxin, allowing it to hunt down prey up to 15 times larger than itself. The centipede uses its muscles to squeeze venom from its poison glands. It then pumps the poison through its modified leg pincers, or fangs, into the prey. 9 of the centipede's segments have small openings called spiracles, which allow it to breathe. But with so many breathing holes, this centipede is prone to dehydration, so it has to spend most of its life in humid environments, like the tropical and subtropical forests in the north of South America, from Colombia in the west, along the coast to Suriname in the east. Here, it hides beneath the forest floor, emerging only to hunt. This voracious carnivore is built for speed. When tracking down prey, the centipede expertly navigates over varied terrain. It even climbs up into the trees, where it stalks prey as large as a lizard. On the ground, it'll hunt down anything from insects and spiders to frogs, mice, small birds, and snakes. The centipede is armed with spiny hooks on its rear legs, which it uses to defend itself. But this predator's modified front legs are its most feared weapons. Razor-sharp fangs capable of injecting a lethal toxin make the giant centipede an effective killer. On the other side of the planet, nighttime on the forest floors of Asia brings out the creepiest of crawlies. Giant centipedes thrive here too, along with plenty of very big cockroaches. Scavenging in the leaf litter. But it's a bad time for this roach to have its head in the sand. A 400-million-year-old predator, and one of the first to walk on land. All scorpions have venom. Only a few dozen are lethal to us, but that's plenty. As the cockroach forages, a giant scorpion stalks. Despite having up to 12 eyes, the 7-inch scorpion has poor vision, so it relies on a complex set of killer resources. Tiny hair-like sensors on its pincers detect vibrations in the air. Chemical receptors brush the ground and pick up traces left by other creatures. And its ultimate weapon? A venom-injecting tail. Giant grasping claws come in handy too. Dinner is served. Now, how does an ancient arachnid eat? In the deepest, darkest jungles of Asia, a monster scorpion gets ready to consume its freshly caught meal. A big, juicy cockroach. This arachnid is a slow eater. Dinner time can take hours. First, it injects digestive fluids into the roach, liquefying its insides. Then, tiny pincers in its mouth delicately tear it open, and the scorpion munches away. Bit by crunchy bit. Surprisingly fastidious, it carefully cleans its pincers after eating. The scorpion has another special sense that tells it something's wrong. For this predator, moonlight means danger because it's exposed to other creatures that want to eat it. Under ultraviolet lights, we can see a scorpion glow in the dark. The reason why it does is still a mystery, but it's possible the scorpion's body acts like a giant eye, picking up faint UV light from the moon that tells it to find cover from other predators fast. Where the Amazon jungle meets urban settlements, there's a scorpion that often ends up dangerously close to people. Over 100 species of the genus Titius live all over South America. Roughly 6 of them are lethal. This tough and adaptable arachnid prospers in built-up environments. Towns and villages offer the scorpion a wealth of hiding places and an abundance of insects to eat. But that brings them closer to us and a potentially deadly encounter. At the end of its tail sits a curved stinger, connected to a bulbous venom-filled gland. It's a brutal and potent weapon. In Brazil alone, scorpion stings have claimed up to 30 lives in a single year. While venom provides a powerful defense against their predators in the wild, most scorpions don't waste it on people. Instead, they save their venom to immobilize and kill their prey. At night, the scorpion emerges from hiding, ready for the ambush. Insects, spiders, or small lizards. This opportunistic hunter will eat anything it can catch. The scorpion's body is covered with fine hairs, sensitive enough to pick up the tiny vibrations from a passing cricket. The scorpion is able to determine the precise distance and direction of its victim. Once detected, the 8-legged hunter chases the prey and seizes it with its gripping pincers. It then paralyzes the cricket with an injection of neurotoxic venom. The insect's heart stops, and the corpse is prepped for dinner and digestion. There is another vast continent with forests full of deadly creatures, including a venomous killer that blends in with the branches, making it practically invisible. The eastern green mamba, one of Africa's deadliest snakes. Resting in the canopy like a vine, it's easily missed. But on the move, this serpent becomes a slick, killing machine. The green mamba stretches over 6 feet long. Its slender contour and perfect shade of green make it ideally suited for life in the jungle, where it sleeps, mates, and hunts. Of the nearly 3,000 species of snakes on Earth, around 600 are venomous. And those venoms are some of the most powerful and deadly toxins known to man. The eastern green mamba is found along a sinuous band from coastal Kenya and south to Zimbabwe, lurking in the scrub brush and forests. Excellent camouflage makes it undetectable to the birds, rodents, and small lizards it pursues. Ever vigilant, its eyes never close. Fixed transparent shields serve in place of eyelids. Its attention is drawn by movement. One misplaced hand, and the mamba springs to life. A victim will first feel a burning pain, and then as the powerful neurotoxic venom spreads, it eats away tissues, potentially causing gangrene and leaving behind a permanent reminder on the skin. Fortunately, green mambas prefer escape to confrontation, and only a handful of deaths have ever been recorded. Indigenous people of South America living in the Amazonian rainforest fear another toxic snake, the Bushmaster. It's the longest venomous snake in the entire Amazon and the largest pit viper in the world. Adults average over 6 feet, and some can reach nearly twice that length. Inside its diamond-shaped head sits a pair of 1.5-inch fangs. But the Bushmaster's primary weapon is patience. Nearly invisible in the leaf litter, this cold-blooded killer can wait motionless for weeks. The Bushmaster chooses its ambush spot carefully and stays here as long as it needs to. Its forked tongue does the work, picking up the lingering scent of rodent traffic. Finally, it begins to pick up the tiny vibrations of little feet. Pits on its face pinpoint the signature of body heat. The tongue can already taste it. A human stands a 1 in 4 chance of surviving its bite. This rodent, none at all. Always starting with the head, the Bushmaster snake walks the prey down its gullet. One fang at a time. Mission accomplished. This reptile uses so little energy that it can get by on just 10 meals a year. Some snakes don't need venom and can swallow much bigger bodies than a mouse. And that includes a human body. This creature is so colossal, so monstrous, it reigns over all others. The biggest serpent on the planet. The green anaconda. Adults can be a foot thick and 30 feet long, nearly as long as a school bus, and weigh more than 3 grown men. Although enormous, they still have the ability to stay hidden in the vegetation and murky river water. They thrive in the South American tropics, from Venezuela to the Amazon's southern edge, anywhere there is water. And the murkier the water, the better it is for camouflage. The anaconda's forked tongue searches the air for scent trails left by prey. Then it waits in ambush, with only its head visible above the waterline. Quiet stealth soon gives way to a rapid attack and raw power. Even a 300-pound caiman can fall victim to an anaconda's crushing death coil. This unstoppable force of nature can even set its sights on humans. Jose Damaso and his father-in-law were out fishing at a favorite spot in the Amazon rainforest of northern Peru. Jose was used to seeing anacondas in the swamps around his home. But this fishing spot happened to be home to an especially large one. The two locals had seen this beast before, but never thought of it as a threat. On this day, the snake was nowhere to be seen. The men split up, each to find his own fishing spot. Engrossed in his fishing, Jose failed to notice that the anaconda was not absent at all. It was hunting. The giant serpent can hold its breath underwater for up to 10 minutes. Fully concealed, it can silently close in on its victim. It's the ultimate ambush and the stealthiest attack. Razor-sharp teeth dug into the fisherman's thigh. Teeth designed for exactly that purpose. They're arranged in a double row and point backwards to catch and hold struggling prey. This snake doesn't need venom. It has the power of its own body, like an 800-pound motorcycle pressing on a victim's ribcage. It squeezes it to death. Every time the prey exhales, the snake tightens its grip, literally squeezing the life out of it. And eating its prize is not a problem. An anaconda's specially constructed jaw allows it to swallow prey much wider than its own head. An extra bone called the quadrate swings the snake's mouth open at 2 points, allowing it to reach a maximum gape of 180 degrees. Even wide enough for a big anaconda to swallow a man whole. Jose knew this when he was attacked. If the snake succeeded in coiling around him, there'd be no escape. Luckily, his size and quick reaction probably saved his life. But he's left with a reminder of just how close he came to the unthinkable. Attacks like this have occurred before, but there are no confirmed cases of an anaconda killing a human. From legless to six legs, Australia's forests have their fair share of creatures that can bite, sting, and kill. Insects make up 3/4 of all species on Earth. Most are harmless, but there are a few that can kill us if we get in their way. It strikes without warning, inflicting an agonizing sting. The bulldog ant. It can be as small as a fingernail or up to an inch long. With a large body, long legs, and a venom-laced stinger, it looks like a wingless wasp. The resemblance to its flying ancestor is not coincidental. Ants evolved from wasp-like creatures some 140 million years ago. Nearly 90 different species of bulldog ant thrive in scattered populations throughout Australia, Tasmania, and New Caledonia. The bulldog ant is as much at home in urban areas as it is in the forest. Their powerful front pincers can not only rip flesh, but also lift rocks many times their own weight. A feat equal to a human lifting a car. They use the rocks to obscure the entrance to their nests, where they live in colonies made up of hundreds of ants. Some bulldog ants have the ability to jump as high as 2 inches, earning them the name jack jumpers. While not all bulldog ants can jump, they can all inflict an agonizing sting. And not just once. This tenacious ant can cause multiple wounds, injecting one of the most powerful venoms in the insect world. It's a convincing deterrent for those who accidentally disturb its nest. For humans allergic to its venom, this tiny foe can be deadly. The bulldog ant also uses its stinger to kill its prey. It seeks out other insects with its acute eyesight. Repeated stings inject enzymes that attack and destroy blood cells, sending their victims into shock and killing them within seconds. Then, the bulldog ant transports its prize back to the nest to be shared with the rest of the colony. Once the meal is delivered, the ants emerge to hunt again, scouring the ground in search of their next prey. We can only hope they stay away from us. Trillions of ants around the world are busy doing the same thing. In a European forest, there's a completely different colony of ants, doing what ants do. Order is maintained through constant chemical communication. They collect food, defend their colony, and take their dead off the field of battle. A tactic that allows a sneaky infiltrator into their midst. The Zodarian spider is a con artist, and an ant killer. Ancient, web-spinning, poisonous predators. They're the largest group of arachnids. Spiders all have fangs that inject venom, and some can cause us a lot of pain and even death. The Xodarian spider must become an ant to catch one. First, she embeds herself with the troops. A risky operation. If she's caught, they'll kill her, if they think she's a spider. But what if she can trick them into thinking she's one of them? Walking on 6 legs instead of 8, she pretends her front 2 are antennae, mimicking the ants that are her prey. She singles out one lone ant that stops for a bit of grooming. The Xodarian spider attacks from behind with her sharp fangs. Her venom does the dirty work. Full body paralysis for the ant. Now, how to get out of there alive with her prize. The Xodarian spider has another trick. She uses her victim as cover. The ant's scent masks her own as she pretends to be one of the ant army's cleanup crew. She now needs to run the gauntlet of angry ants. Tapping their antennae with her false pair. And using her acquired ant corpse for chemical camouflage. If she loses her nerve or drops her bounty, she's exposed. But with a couple of quick flashes of her fake antennae, she's back in business. She makes a run for it. At a safe distance, she sucks up the dead ant's juices until nothing is left but an empty shell. Then she retreats to her bunker, a tent of rocks roped together by bits of her own webbing. Close the door, and this little killer is done for the day. There's a much more lethal spider that hunts in the Amazon rainforests, and its deadly reputation is well-deserved. The Brazilian wandering spider. Named for its nomadic lifestyle, the wandering spider doesn't dig a lair or spin a web. It stalks the forests of South America, from southern Venezuela to northern Argentina, and occasionally wanders into local neighborhoods, where it can cross a dangerous path with us. The Brazilian wandering spider is less than half the size of a tarantula, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up for with a hair-trigger defense. Infamous for biting when threatened or surprised, it packs one of the biggest venomous punches of any spider in the world. In Brazil alone, 2 similar species account for nearly half of all reported spider bites, claiming at least 14 lives. Their bite packs a dose of venom more than twice as potent as the notorious Black Widows. The venom contains neurotoxins that immediately attack the nervous system, causing the muscles that control the heart and breathing to shut down. The toxin also contains serotonin that attacks the brain, causing tremors and intense pain. This potent weapon makes the wandering spider a powerful predator, able to kill animals much larger than itself, like lizards and mice. Similar to a tarantula, it prefers to ambush its quarry, using the sensitive hairs on its body to detect vibrations from passing prey. Once it targets its victim, like this grasshopper, the outcome is certain. But the wandering spider doesn't limit its bite to creatures living in the Amazon. Hitching a ride in bunches of bananas, it's been known to wander into locations as far away as the supermarkets of Europe. The Transylvanian forest of Romania is as dark and foreboding as its creatures of legend, like werewolves and vampires. But the most bloodthirsty of them all is quite real. Animals that eat other animals, Order Carnivora, flesh devourers. Some are small, some are big, and an elite few are not afraid to take a bite out of us. This cute little carnivore is called a least weasel, a killer that can't stop killing. It's a member of the same predator family that includes wolverines, ferrets, and badgers. At only 5 inches long, he's the smallest true carnivore on Earth. With a metabolism that is so turbocharged, he needs to eat more than a third of his body weight. That's up to 10 meals every day. The least weasel is perfectly adapted to live the life of a solitary hunter. With his long, flexible spine, his whole body works like a vice, constricting the prey. His jaws and canine teeth are like a lion's, able to puncture the skull with ease. Back in his den, he stops only long enough to eat the brains, his equivalent of an energy bar. He doesn't have time to eat the rest now. The compulsion to kill propels him back to hunt down more prey. The weasel's collection of corpses piles up. This carnivore is a serial killer with a hoarding problem. And he'll kill anything that he can sink his teeth into. No mouse is safe. They bolt to their burrows. But the weasel can hear their ultrasonic sounds, and anywhere his head can fit, his body can follow. Even complete darkness doesn't stop this little hunter. His nose and ears can see just fine. Only the very quick and the very lucky escape. From the smallest carnivore to one of the largest. For more than 2,500 years, the Bengal tiger has been an icon of the jungles of India, home to over half of the world's tiger population. Their range stretches from Pakistan to Burma and throughout most of India. The majority live in the Sundarbans National Park and Tiger Reserve. Over 8,000 square miles of densely forested river delta spanning the borders of India and Bangladesh. Only around 180 Bengal tigers hunt in this lush landscape today. The swampy habitat is in short supply of the tiger's natural prey, so the big cats often turn their attention to the next best thing. Local people often pass through the park to collect wood, fish, and honeycomb. Easy targets for these expert hunters. The attack is so stealthy and quick, virtually no one survives. Every year, tigers kill around 50 people in the Indian Sundarbans alone, making it home to the highest number of tiger fatalities in the country. Locals once tried wearing masks on the backs of their heads to discourage attacks, with the idea that tigers rarely attack a person from the front. This trick worked at first, but now they fear the tigers may have caught on. And people aren't safe in the water either. These predators can swim. They've attacked and killed fishermen who thought they were safe and far from shore. This carnivore is at the top of the food chain. Its speed, strength, and powerful jaws make all animals vulnerable. Adult male Bengals reach up to lengths of 6 feet and weigh around 400 pounds. Tigers hunt primarily from dusk to dawn, tracking down prey with their extraordinary night vision. A special reflecting layer behind their retinas increases the amount of light captured by the eye, enabling the predator to hunt in the darkest of nights. Once locked onto its prey, this big cat's method of attack is unusually simple: a crushing bite to the throat or neck. To survive among the trees, these predators are well armed to bite, sting, and kill in the jungle.